AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tomplake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. If you are navigating your way through the first workday of 2026, as am I, welcome. Welcome to the party. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Busy time around LSU. I got a question on the text line here as we were starting the hour, and someone asked me, his name was Robert, and he said, Matt, it seemed like on January 2nd, there are going to be all these moves and transfers, but there's only been a few. Is that what you expected? How does that stack up to other schools? It's a great question, a very fair question. And I've told you, the word that I had been told was that people around the program thought January 2nd would be, quote, explosive. And I think it is very fair to say that so far that has not been the case. You've got 3 portal additions as of right now, and all 3 of them are really depth pieces. The first add was Jackson Harris. Now, LSU has got to make over their receiver room. You've lost your top 4 guys from this season and a whole bunch of depth. And I think, as we talked about, it is very evident from the beginning that Lane Kiffin was going to target a very specific skill set at receiver that he wanted to bring in. We told you about it on signing day when they didn't honor Kenny Darby's scholarship. They brought in the guy who had been committed to Ole Miss. They got a flip from Oklahoma. They know what they're looking for at receiver. So the question is, do you trust Lane Kiffin and Billy Glasscock and George McDonald and their evaluation of this position? Jackson Harris this year was a big play waiting to happen. At Hawaii, 49 catches for just under 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns, averaged 19.7 yards per reception. 6'3", 205. He is everything you hoped you had a year ago in Nick Anderson. We'll see if he is. Just finished his sophomore year there on the island. Now he's coming to Baton Rouge. That's a big-time get. The other 2, but it's worth mentioning at receiver, we've talked about it pretty openly here. The 2 players on Ole Miss's roster at receiver that LSU was targeting via the portal in some of that legal tampering period were Winnie Watkins and Deuce Alexander, who very well could and I think are expected still to join the LSU program when Ole Miss's season ends. I think those guys will go in the portal, and they'll end up at LSU. Again, all of that is subject to change, as we've seen with what's happened with Trinidad Chambliss over the last week and Kejuan Lacey, as that feels like that started to turn a little bit. But Harris, 1 receiver, already in the boat. As we speak, LSU's got 3 more receivers on campus visiting today, on this Monday. So one of them is Jace Brown from Kansas State, And the other is Trey Brown from Old Dominion. So they are going heavy at receivers. They have to rebuild that entire room. But after Jackson Harris, the other two adds are Racine Guillory, running back from Utah, and Malachi Thomas, the tight end from Pitt. Racine Guillory is from Fort Worth, but he had one rushing attempt this year at Utah. But he was recruited by this staff, by Kevin Smith, to try to get to Ole Miss when he ended up at Utah. So there's familiarity with the player, but you're talking about a guy that at this point is a depth piece behind Harlan Berry. And then Malachi Thomas, tight end from Pitt. He was a 3-star coming out of high school, went to Pitt, where he's been. And you're talking about a guy with limited productivity as well with Malachi Thomas. So that is a guy who is a depth piece behind Trey'Dez Green. But you needed to sort of remake your tight end room because after Trey'Dez Green, you only had J.D. LaFleur and then the high school commit you had this year. But here in Malachi Thomas, 13 catches, $192, 2 touchdowns this year. So yes, absolutely. It is fair to say at this point, thought there might be more fireworks. That's fine. What I'm going to tell you, though, is, and if you follow the show for any length of time, I'll give you this comp, and I think it'll make sense. Usually when we talk about recruiting, I try not to have any type of reaction or overreaction one way or another to a commitment, signing or picking another school, whatever the case may be. Because the reality is you can't sign everyone. So when the class is done, can you pull back, look at the 10,000-foot view and say, did you address your needs with good players? I think that's really the target. Like, we could talk about some of the quote-unquote misses. Like, if you want to go back to last year's signing class. Okay, well, Jakeem Stewart and some of the, obviously Bryce Underwood was a huge one. You lost a cornerback to Texas in the 11th hour. But you retained a guy like DJ Pickett, who was massive for you as a freshman and is back now for his sophomore year. So pull back to the 10,000-foot view and take and assess the roster. So as of right now, there's so much work to be done. You got to get multiple quarterbacks. You've got to sign at least 3 starting caliber offensive linemen. You're going to have to sign probably 5 or 6 receivers in this portal class. You've got a tight end. You've already got 1 running back. You're probably going to try to add another. When we look at everything that they have to do, there's so much still to be done as this portal class goes along. And I want to remind you of the numbers because we've had this conversation about what is the proper way to build a roster, high school recruiting or portal. And I know overwhelmingly what you all think. And the way I keep saying it is you've got to reframe how you think about building a roster because it is no longer sensible to think you're going to build your roster through high school recruiting. Because in a given year, a quarter of your roster turns over. So after 2 seasons, half of your signing class is gone. The thought of get a guy here, have him sit for 2 years, play as a junior, or be a starter as a junior is just not plausible. Guys don't wait anymore. They don't have to because there are desperate teams all over the country that will pay or overpay or pay more than what you will for a backup to have him go be a starter wherever they are and they could play. So it is no longer sensible to think of it that way. I liked that approach. But the larger the sample size grows, the more information you get, you can make a more informed decision. It's like dating. It's the best analogy there is. You start dating someone with an idea because you think they're pretty or you like they're attractive and you like their personality, so you start dating. Like, you never start dating someone thinking this is a terrible idea. You start dating someone because you got the butterflies in your belly. Well, as you go along in a relationship and you gather more information, you maybe realize that you're not compatible as you learn more. Well, doesn't mean you were wrong at the onset. You've just learned more. Well, at the onset of portal, NIL, all this stuff, you could think of a way to do it, recruit and develop from high school, supplement in the portal. But look at what Lane Kiffin has done at Ole Miss. In the last 4 years, he went high school from his portal classes, went from 20 to 23 to 26 to 30. The Ole Miss team right now that's in the national semifinal had 30 portal additions. And I'm here to tell you, Coach, This LSU roster in 2026 is going to have 30 portal additions. So how do you break that down? I think it's going to end up being, I don't know if I'll give you an exact number, but if you look at Ole Miss from a year ago, 20 of those, I think it was 19 were offensive guys and 11 were defensive guys. I'm telling you, this LSU roster, this portal class, I think is going to be single-digit defensive players. It's going to be overwhelmingly offense. You've got to rebuild your offensive line. You've got to rebuild your receiver room. You got to get a quarterback, running backs. And you're going to say, well, that's not plausible or sustainable. I don't care what you think. And you shouldn't care what I think. That's irrelevant. Because what is here is what Lane Kiffin and Billy Glasscock are doing. This is how they're going to build the roster. And every year you reset. It's 1 year free agency. And if the NCAA changes some rule to dissuade or disallow that, then you pivot. Pivot! But as of right now, this is how they're going about doing it because this is sort of a proven model. Half the quarterbacks in the college football playoff this year are first-year starters that were transfers. Okay, don't tell me it can't be done. Can you get someone to stay and wait and develop? It just doesn't happen that way, at least not at large numbers. So you're going to do what Lane Kiffin said. They're going to sign the best high school players they can, and then they're going to go ham in the portal with their war chest. So at this moment, did I think by Monday the 5th they would have had more than 3 commitments? Yes. Yes, I did. Am I worried? No. Because they have a giant pile of cash to burn, a new coach who people know has tons of name recognition. All of these guys, Chaz Coleman from Penn State, Sam Levitt right now, all these top-tier guys are coming to campus on visits. So there's interest. You got to close them. See if they can. So get back with me in 7 days, 14 days, as we move throughout this portal cycle, and then tell me what the roster looks like. You know, you could be disappointed. Like, I'm disappointed that Teron Francis went in the portal. Like, that dude, they call him Manchild from Edna Carr. He might have been the most impressive receiver in fall camp this year. Might have been. And he was your 7th best guy. Because you just had a logjam. That dude, I have no doubt in my mind, none, that Teron Francis could have been an impactful wide receiver for LSU in 2025. But you had Aaron Anderson and Xavier Thomas and Barrion Brown and Nick Anderson and Kyle Parker and a bunch of dudes that were older and veteran capable as well. And Trey'Dez Green. So he was just buried on the depth chart. So now you're going into the portal and you're probably going to add a couple of guys from Ole Miss. You added a guy from Hawaii. You got other targets that you have out there. So what does that mean for Francis in 2026? Don't know. So he's going to go somewhere where he can play. Okay. That's just the nature of it. Understanding that every roster is going to be built year to year. And so get with me at the end of this portal cycle and let's pull back, take the 10,000-foot view and look at it. Not 72 hours into it. So we'll keep following it as we learn more, and there's many more to come. They're going to add 30 guys in this portal class. And we'll continue to find out who they are. And you can follow it for free, of course, over at LouisianaSports.net. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Brought to you by Evamore. EVAMOR. Evamore.com. Evamore.com. I don't know if they had Evamore in Las Vegas. I didn't find any. It was really disappointing. But I had to stay hydrated. But I'll tell you, landing back in Louisiana, being able to go to the store, grab some Evamore, go to my fridge, grab some Evamore. It's part of my day. Huge part of health is making sure that you eat real food, you sleep, you move your body, and you stay hydrated. Best way to stay hydrated is with natural artesian water, Evamore. EVAMOR, a Louisiana product. Find out where you can buy it at evamore.com, or buy it online at evamore.com. EVAMOR, evamore.com. Okay, y'all. Glad you're hanging out with us. Jimmy will be here in 30 minutes for Auto Locks. What do you think? We'll have time, maybe in about 15 minutes, to circle back to New Year's Day. That game that was played in Pasadena. It was rainy in Pasadena. Saw that?
It was pouring in Pasadena.
Golly.
That was I think that game you're talking about had the largest audience actually of any of the quarterfinals.
Oh wow!
So a lot of people saw it.
A lot of people saw that game.
A lot of people saw that game.
Maybe the rain wasn't rain. Maybe it was tears. Yeah, well, maybe if we have time, we'll get to it. I don't know if we'll have time. Nice little Saturday. Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know. I don't know if we'll have time. Maybe. 14 minutes at AFR.
After further review.
Happy New Year from our friends over at Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. I love when some of you, this happens a lot, you business owners, HR managers, hiring managers, operations managers, who will hit me up on my text line or DM me or something like that, email me. Hey, man, I hear you talk about Glow. I do this type of business. Is it worth giving a call? Overwhelmingly, the answer is yes. What you need to know about what Glow Resources does for your business, they are not a temp staffing agency. They're trying to find a permanent hiring solution for you in whatever business that you're in. Now, they specialize in skilled blue-collar labor. So welders, pipe fitters, crane operators, all your heavy equipment, heavy machinery, they specialize there. So if you're having trouble finding permanent solutions, you need Glow Resources, glowresources.com. But their professional placement division can help with any type of office job as well. Check them out online, GLO, glowresources.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and we do shutters too.
The Saints wrapped up year one of the Kellen Moore era, 6-11. But as we've said quite a bit here, a lot of optimism around this team. It's amazing what happens when you feel solidified at quarterback. For all the conversation we had about Derek Carr, you always knew that your ceiling was lower. Your floor felt higher. You wouldn't crater and be a 2-3 win team, but your ceiling was lower. Same with Andy Dalton. It's what the team was. With Tyler Shuck, I think you look at this team and go, man, like, did you just draft the next Josh Allen? Like, is he a potential MVP? And I'm not putting all the pressure in the world on him saying that is going to be his reality. What I'm saying is it could be. When you look at the decision-making, the arm strength, the mobility, the moxie, the leadership, the production with nobody surrounding him on offense was incredibly impressive, and it's a great reason for optimism around the team. So the Saints go into this offseason with some pretty clear needs. And I'm going to tell you, when we look at the draft, now this is what's interesting. The Saints are going to pick 8th, and had they beaten Atlanta, they would have been tied with Miami, but because of the strength of schedule, they would have drafted 11th. So the Saints, by virtue of their loss to Atlanta, actually improved 3 spots in the draft. Now, again, to be clear, because I don't want to be accused of being a hypocrite and talking out of both sides of my mouth. I wanted the Saints to win games at the end. I was not wanting them to tank to get a higher draft pick because I felt like winning those games, like the reason we can have the conversation about Tyler Shuck and the optimism around him is because that dude found ways in the fourth quarter to go win games. It's like if he had just put up some empty yards and they kept losing, we might be saying it was a garbage time yards, but he was finding ways to win. So we go into this offseason thinking, all right, you got your quarterback. Now, time will tell if he's actually a franchise quarterback, what level he is. Is he a guy that's what Derek Carr was, just a lower mid-tier starter? Is he a top 10 quarterback? Is he a franchise quarterback? Time will tell as the sample size grows, but what you know now from the half season he started is you're going into 2026 with Tyler Shuck. Like, you know, that's not even debatable. So what do you do here to build around him, I think is the gigantic question. So you pick 8th, and for me, I think there are 3 positions that you are looking at with the 8th overall pick, provided they make it. And again, the Saints never trade down. If anything, they trade up. So I think you were looking at 3 positions. And as we're sitting here talking about the offense, I think only one of the 3 is on the offensive side of the ball. I think if you have an opportunity to draft a receiver, someone who you feel is a dynamic, like best receiver in the draft, and you could do it at 8, you do it. Now, our buddy Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net has a piece of it's free right now where he explores 8 possible draft picks for the New Orleans Saints. Now, you can go look at any of the draft analysts, any of the rankings, the big boards, whatever. If you start looking at pass catchers, Arizona State wide receiver Jordan Tyson and Ohio State wide receiver Carnell Tate are, by most accounts, the top two receivers in this year's draft, according to most of the scouts. Now, we'll see how that all may evolve and develop as the whole pre-draft process moves along. And if we're being honest, it'll be Carnell Tate because he's Ohio State. And, of course, the Saints are going to draft a player from Ohio State, especially a receiver. It's just what they do. Chris Olave had a very productive season for New Orleans this year. My very staunch contention has been, remains, you cannot pay him like a number one receiver. I think Chris Olave was productive, but he was also top 5 in the NFL in targets. Yeah, of course. When you throw him the ball because there's nobody else out there to catch passes, he's going to catch passes and have receiving yards, and that's great. He's stat compiled. Tyler Shuck threw for nearly 300 yards on Sunday against Atlanta with Ronnie Bell, Samore, what was his name? I don't even remember the guy's name. That was, I have it written down here somewhere. What was that guy's name? Hang on, I got it. Here it is. Samori Toure. Audric Estime had 5 catches. The point is, I think Chris Olave is a good NFL receiver. I think he's a very good number 2. But he don't make contested catches. He ain't the game changer at receiver. You need to draft that guy. You draft that guy and you put Olave out there as your number 2. It frees him up more to go against someone else's number 2. Great. That would be my number one target. The other 2 positions, I think you got to get a cornerback and an edge rusher. Now, a little bit of a caveat here with the edge rusher. Chase Young was awesome this year. Finished with double-digit sacks, as did Cam Jordan. I think you wonder, is that sustainable for Cam, and how many more years does he have to play? If you can get an elite edge rusher, like let's say if Bain from Miami, Ruben Bain is there at 8, I would have no problem running that card up to the commissioner. I do not mean this in any way to be a Homer Saints need to draft LSU guys pick, but the other is cornerback. And Mansour Delane, if he's on the board at 8 and they call his name, I'd be over the moon. If they go through the evaluation, let me rephrase this. If Brandon Staley goes through the evaluation, because I trust him, I don't trust Gumsmack and Mick. He's going to try to draft someone with a relative athletic score and go get the next version of Marcus Davenport, Peyton Turner. Who's a kid from Notre Dame they cut in year 2? What was his name? The edge? Yeah, we've all forgotten it. Top 40 pick. Way to go, Mick. No, I don't trust Mickey Loomis to get it right. What was that guy's name again? The Notre Dame? Yeah, none of us even remember his name. Whatever. Look great getting off the bus, though. Relative athletic score, off the charts. But the point is, look it up, please. If it's Mansour Delane, if it's another corner that's rated at the top of the draft, I don't know who that would be, right? Go through your evaluation and decide who it is. Who was it?
Isaiah Foskey.
Foskey.
Yeah.
The next Foskey. If it's Mansour Delane, great. If it's another cornerback, fine. But I think what this year taught us is that Sugarwater McKinstry is not a number 1 corner. I think he's an NFL player, and I think he'd be a good number 2. But when he had to isolate on an island against the other team's number 1, he wasn't able to hang. So similar to Olave, you've drafted a number 2, a good number 2, a solid NFL player, but not someone that I want trying to lock down Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and the best, like Jackson Smith and Jigba, the best receivers in the NFL week in and week out, because everybody's got one. Everybody's got a number 1, and their number 1 receiver is going to be better than your number 1 corner most every week if your number 1 corner is Cooley McKinstry. So I draft a number 1 corner. Those would be the 3 positions: receiver, edge rusher, corner. I would love to see the Saints do that with the 8th overall pick and address those in free agency. Go get an interior offensive lineman, a young, proven starting offensive guard. Would love to see the Saints do that. You're going to get Eric McCoy back off of injury. You feel like you've drafted your 2 tackles of the future. Go fortify the interior of that line with a young free agent, a young veteran free agent, someone who's 26 years old, 4 years in the league, sign him to a 4-year deal, and solidify the interior of that offensive line to protect Tyler Shough. I mean, there's your list of needs becomes less robust when you finish the season the way they did defensively. And, of course, when you've got a quarterback that you feel like you can win with. The Saints also, as we know, will play last place schedule by virtue of the loss to Atlanta. The Saints finish 4th in the NFC South, so we know now the opponents that the Saints are going to play. At home, of course, you'll play the division, and then you'll play the Browns, Packers, Vikings, Steelers, Cardinals, Raiders, and then away you'll play the division, and you'll play at the Ravens, Bears, Bengals, Lions, and Giants. So we know that the schedule, what schedule be for 2026 for the New Orleans Saints. Now it's about going fill some of those roster needs and building toward what will hopefully be a return to the playoffs for the New Orleans Saints. So, of course, LSU right now is recruiting many of these transfer portal guys, and it should come as no surprise to you that where are they taking the transfer portal targets? The Supper Club. On Friday, Chaz Coleman, the edge rusher from Penn State, was at Supper Club. On Saturday, Brendan Sorsby, got him a free meal over at Supper Club. So, I would say they would take Sam Levitt there, but they're closed on Mondays. So Supper Club's not open tonight. But, of course, every Tuesday to Saturday, you want the best meal of your life. You want to take someone somewhere to impress them? You take them to Supper Club. Just got back from Vegas, I'm going to tell you. Had some great meals in Vegas, great ambiance, a lot of fun. Don't hold a candle to Supper Club. Go have the greatest meal of your life, an exceptional dining experience. Book your reservation today at supperclubbtr.com. Supperclubbtr.com. They're right there on Perkins Road. Tuesday to Saturday, supperclubbtr.com. Oh, wait. I might have a little new. I don't know if I can say it. Okay, can't say it. So sorry. That's isn't that terrible?
I was about to say, you're the worst. You are the worst for that.
But that was an organic reaction. I looked down at my phone, I saw the text, and I can say it.
Hey!
So, highly placed source informs me that Sam Levitt tonight will be at
Supper Club?
Supper Club.
All right.
Hey, look, man. They're closed tonight. So they're opening just for him, clearly.
That's red carpet treatment.
It's a private dinner.
Hey, what do you think Sam Levitt's going to order? You've been to Supper Club a lot. What do you think Sam Levitt's going to get?
I don't know. I can't talk about this right now because I have to break. Because I have to talk about the football from New Year's, the Pasadena game in a second. But all I know is that they got to close it. Like, if I'm going for the Omi beef, which is just a one-of-a-kind thing that you can't find anywhere. Well, not just the Omi beef. Like, you have to start with, get the tuna app. Wow, man. I can see this is the problem, Use. See what you did?
I knew you'd have an answer.
See what you did? Now you start, but I got to go. You started with this. Bottom line is, LSU's trying to close a transfer portal quarterback. Where they take him? Private dinner at Supper Club. Where should you go for your birthday, anniversary, celebrate a raise, or just because you woke up today living? Supper Club. You ain't been yet, or you ain't been in a minute? Book your reservation. Supperclubbtr.com. As a matter of fact, I'm going on Thursday. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out. ONE, 1hourbr.com for River City's 1 Hour Air. Big yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side. Love telling you about them, man. They're great people, and they're going to do right by you. And one of the things I think sometimes people worry about when you're talking about when you have contractors that come into your house and they're dealing with something you don't know with, like, I don't know how to fix my AC unit. So I rely on reputable people who are very good at their job. With River City's 1 Hour Air, they're never going to overcharge you or upsell you or anything like that. They're never going to charge you for a service you don't need. They're going to go do an inspection, and they're going to sit down with you and explain your options. They'll have a good, better, and best option, and you decide what you want to do based on what matches your budget. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. Call them today, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Happy New Year, y'all. Muse, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Scott.
Thanks, man. Happy 2026. Paulie, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
You know, people always ask the question, how long do you say Happy New Year?
Yeah, it's good. That's a good question.
I don't think it's a good question. I think it's a stupid question. You say Happy New Year for as long as you want to tell someone Happy New Year. I don't care if it's March.
No, that'd be weird.
It's the first time I see you and it's March. I say, hey, Happy New Year. Hope you and your family are doing great. Happy 2020. Sure, whatever. Happy New Year. There's no set limit on that. And I'll tell you what, it is a Happy New Year. Actually, it's a joyous New Year. It's a thrilling, wonderful New Year. Because in the first show of 2026, I get to tell Muse, give me my music! Hey, Muse.
Yeah,
First show of 2026,
that's today.
and I'm going to wreck my voice.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Tread soft.
How can I? Did you see the Rose Bowl?
I did.
The granddaddy of them all? Pasadena, California. Right there at the foot of the San Whoever Your Mama's Mountains or whatever they call them. That stupid sunset that dictated college football's postseason for generations. Can't have an actual championship because the Rose Bowl's got to be played in the afternoon for a pretty sunset. Yeah, that's true. We let a sunset dictate our postseason and the sport we all love. But don't let me miss the point. Oh, you saw what happened in that game, didn't you?
I saw it. I watched it.
Lowly Indiana. A program that came into this season with the most losses in Division I football history. And the Hoosiers took a belt straight to your ass. Oh, don't think I'm sitting down for this one. Hey, give my chair. I'm gonna give my chair. Don't think I'm sitting down for this one. 38-3. Give me more headspace, Paulie. My head's out of the camera. 38-3. Indiana took their belt off and whipped your ass up and down the field at the Rose Bowl. Over and over and over again. And you had to sit there and watch the whole damn thing. How many times? Take my headphones off. Take my headphones off. How many times I gotta tell you? I told you sitting right here. The day Nick Saban retired, I told you. Your charmed existence was over. I told you. I ain't never said you're gonna be bad. Never said you're gonna be awful. Never said you're never gonna win anything ever again. All I told you is, when you woke up for 17 years on a football Saturday, every damn one of them, you woke up that day knowing you were gonna win. That didn't happen all the time. But you woke up knowing you were gonna win. And you ain't never gonna do it again. Because the GOAT is gone. And you're stuck with Hefty Harsin. Elmer Fudd with his hat big high on his head. Kalen DeBose. Oh, speaking of DeBose. 38-3. You know the last time Alabama lost a game by 35 points?
When was that?
1998. Who was the coach back in 1998?
That'd be Mike DeBose.
Could have fooled me. You sure it wasn't Kalen DeBose? By the way, last time Alabama lost by 30 or more? 1998 Music City Bowl. Who was the coach then? Say it!
Mike DeBose.
Sure it wasn't Kalen DeBose? Third 3-score loss under Kalen DeBose. Saban had 1 in 17 years. Worst loss as a program since 1991. Indiana took out that belt and beat your ass. Had to buy a new belt after this. Back-to-back 4-loss seasons. That's what you signed up for, isn't it? Mighty Alabama. Back-to-back 4 last seasons, laughing my ass off right at you. Worst postseason loss in program history. How long they been playing football? How long they been playing football?
I'm looking it up. I have no idea.
Yes.
100 years.
In 100 years. Been more than that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, way more than that.
Since 1892.
$1892. You ain't never had a loss at a bowl game that bad. Indiana. You know how many 4- and 5-star recruits they got on their team?
2.
8. You know how many Bama's got?
30.
57! 57 4- and 5-star recruit, and you got dominated because you're soft. You're poorly coached. You quit. Because when your players come to the sideline, they don't see the greatest coach of all time. They see Hefty Harsin. They see Elmer Fudd with his hat high on his head. They see all golly gee shucks from South Dakota standing on the sideline trying to make a bunch of dudes in Tuscaloosa, Alabama care. Guess what? It ain't never gonna happen. Not at the level you think it should. Not at the level which you believe is your birthright. 19-8 in 2 seasons. 7-4 against the top 25 with the big one. No SEC titles. 0-2 in bowl games. No national titles. It's a 5-year drought. How do you think that's sitting in Tuscaloosa? Oh, you can kid yourself. Hey, man, but we made the SEC championship game and won a college football playoff game. No doubt. That's what you sign up for in Tuscaloosa. That's what you hired Hefty Harsin for. To lose 4 games in back-to-back seasons and get your ass beat by Indiana in the Rose Bowl. Keep telling yourself that. Put your head on your pillow and take whatever moral victory you want, because I'm going to sit here as long as he's a coach and laugh my ass off at you every time Indiana beats that ass with a belt. You can count on one thing. You can count on 2 things. As long as Kalen DeBose is your coach, your championship drought will continue. That's 1. And 2, every time he pisses down his leg and y'all lose by 35 to Indiana, I'm going to be right here to remind you. Every single time.
AFR.
about First South Farm Credit? FirstSouthLand.com. For what? First South Land? Oh, no. Duplessis. Doggone it. I'll do First South Farm Credit later. DuplessisBuilders.net. DuplessisBuilders.net. Big shout out to Derek Duplessis and the team over at Duplessis Builders. 2026, if this is the year you take the plunge and put in that pool, you need to call Duplessis Builders because, well, they're the best. Pool and Spa Magazine voted them a top 50 pool builder in America, not in Baton Rouge, not in Louisiana, in the entire United States of America, because they're going to build you a beautiful pool that lasts. 10-year workmanship warranty over at Duplessis Builders. So check them out at DuplessisBuilders.net. Remember, you can go to the website. There's the Pick Your Pool tab. 11 different designs. You can pick your pool right now. You choose the finishes. Easy process. It's fun to do. DuplessisBuilders.net.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And we do shutters too.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here, Monday edition of AFR. Presented by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. I went and did it. First show of the year, wrecked my voice. It took me 2 weeks to recover from the end of the year, and I just went Bama's burning and wrecked my voice. Oh, well, I deserve it. All right, Otter Locks, hit it.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
It is a Happy New Year. Alabama got their ass beat by Indiana, and I got to celebrate it. Lost my voice, but it was worth it.
One of my favorite picks, Indiana, in that game. So people were just saying, give Alabama 7 points.
People betting on the logo, man. Been doing it all year.
That's absolutely right.
Easiest play, rocking chair, man. Cashing that ticket was a lot of fun. They
were the most public team in college football this year. I cited it a lot. It started with Florida State, and it ended even with a cover or a push late in the season against Auburn, some kind of way. But, I mean, the odds makers know that they were anticipating getting Alabama action no matter what line they put out there, and that was a mismatch in the Rose Bowl. No doubt about that. So we had a good finish to the bowl game, good finish to the regular season football Sunday. Football Sunday continues through January, through the conference championship game. So that is our schedule the rest of the way, but a real good day yesterday. And we'll start with one of our main contributors on Football Sunday, and he's an FCS guru as well. We're 35 minutes from kickoff for the FCS championship in Illinois State. He's citing strength of conference here. So they went on the road and beat North Dakota State. They've gone on and won as pretty sizable underdogs and won handily the whole time. They're catching double digits again tonight. We're going to ride this Illinois State and Randy McKay. The big dogs picked tonight. We're taking the Redbirds up plus the 10 in the FCS championship. Right. We gave out one earlier today. It is behind. Nebraska is undefeated in at Columbus, and they have a 13-point lead in the first half at Ohio State. We gave out Ohio State earlier today, so we got some ground to make up in that one against the undefeated Huskers.
That's Ohio State plus 7.5 in game. Should we take it?
Yes. I would expect a run. Here's an unranked team favored over a top 10 team, much less a ranked team. So
1 minute remaining.
Nebraska to get it done there. And then Michigan State, this is USC. They are, Musselman is down all kinds of players right now. It was embarrassing watching them the other night against Michigan. They stayed in Michigan to complete the Michigan State run. And so, but going to take Michigan State coming off of a loss at Nebraska last time out, minus the 10.5. Take the Spartans minus 10.5 against the banged up USC Trojans.
Hey, it's 11.5 right now. Still worth it or no?
Yeah, but not as strong. So yeah.
All right. Otter Locks, they're posted at LouisianaSports.net. Well, it's generally a good idea to get on it early. But then again, the football game's 10.5 right now, so got an extra hook. Where are you tomorrow?
Dozy Place on Government Street in Mid-City.
Awesome. Thank you, Otter.
All right, good luck.
All right, man. Muse Pauly, thanks. Y'all have a great night. Big shout out, as always, to Brandon Holly and the gang over at Relief Windows. Be back tomorrow at 3. See you then.
AFR.
Now, I can remind you about First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. FirstSouthLand.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit because they're just the stinking best. Listen, a new year, maybe your New Year's resolution is finally to take that leap. You've been thinking about, talking about, hoping about, wishing about, praying about buying land for a long time. And if it's finally time to take that step, your first call needs to be to First South Farm Credit. So FirstSouthLand.com. Write it down, punch it into your phone right now in your browser, tell Siri to do it, whatever. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com. Get in touch with one of their local lenders. Now, look, they got branches all over Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. A lot of people that own land or buy land already own land. You could use the equity in your current land to roll into a new property. Whatever you do, make your first call to First South Farm Credit.